So actually the topic of my talk today is how we actually transform our students at Heriot-Watt University through the right foundation. So we want to focus on starting right, which means that starting your university life right, in the right way, and how do we actually do it in our Heriot-Watt University Malaysia way, because there are many others could be doing it in different ways, but we believe that the way that we conduct our foundation programs and how we support our students to be able to adapt to transition to university life is really important, and it helps our students to be able to succeed in their studies later on at Heriot-Watt and also in their careers beyond their studies after they graduate. So some of the messages that I will be talking about today actually is quite similar to the message that has been shared from the previous talk by our provost, Professor Mushtaq. Okay, it's just that why some of these messages are being repeated is that we really feel that it's really important. So I hope that you bear with me if one or two of the slides could be similar. Okay, but I'm talking about it from the angle of our foundation program. So that's me, Jasmine, and I'm the head for Malaysian Foundation Programs at Heriot-Watt University Malaysia. So actually what I want to focus on basically today is, first I will start off by asking us a question. I pose a question, and then we talk about what are the challenges, and I really want to focus on our foundation program in the way that how we actually implement positive education into the way that we run our foundation program. I will also then cover a little bit about what our foundation programs are about, so that you have an idea if you wish to know more about foundation programs and answer any specific questions relating to the foundation programs before we end. So before I start, I know that there are many parents here, so we have quite a number, families here. I just want to pose a very simple question to the parents who are here. What do you want for your children? Sir?
Well, I want them to be able to think for themselves.
Okay.
And knowing the choices would narrow that decision making.
Right. And yourself, sir?
I want my daughter to be ready to face the world.
Ready to face the world. Think for themselves, right? Be able to know the choices. What about the gentleman at the back?
I want to know more about the prospects of
Prospects?
of taking this.
About their future options, perhaps?
This particular course.
Okay, so you want to know. So, but what do you want for your son, I presume? Your son? Yes.
To be future prepared.
To be future?
Prepared.
Prepared. Yes, correct. And how about either madam or sir? What do you want for your child? Would you like to say something? Yeah? Any one of you?
Future prepared and be a responsible, productive global citizen.
Okay. Future prepared, be a responsible, productive citizen. So if we look at the answers just in general among ourselves here, you will see that very few of us actually will answer that, oh, I want my child to score A. I want my child to excel academically. Of course, although that's what we expect. We often, when we ask a room of parents, the answer that we get will be very similar. I want my child to be happy, okay, to be successful, to be independent, to be future prepared, okay, to be able to do well in the future, to face future challenges, right? But when you think about what do we do in university and in schools, most of the time, we are focusing a lot on academic excellence. In general, I would say traditional universities always tend to focus a lot on academic excellence. However, what we want for our children when we ask ourselves is actually really different, right? It's really different because the academic excellence are really the intrinsic kind of values or skills that we expect actually when they enter a university. So what we want, so while we prepare our students to excel academically, and every university does that. By the end of your studies at any university, you will all graduate, okay, with your degree certificate, and everyone will be quite skilled in whatever academic disciplines they are prepared for. Because if you come to an accredited university, all programs are accredited, all lecturers are qualified, you know, all disciplines are the same when they are accredited in terms of the knowledge that they give, very, very similar. However, the kind of things that we talk about, facing future challenges, being well prepared for the future, how do we prepare our children for that? How do we prepare our students? So we all know that while we teach our students to excel academically, are we really teaching them the skills to lead happy, fulfilling lives and to face future challenges of the world? So we know that students who, even though they might graduate and excel academically, there are many challenges that students face today. Okay, anxiety, stress, frustration with their studies, being unable to cope with failure, depression, okay, time management, discipline issues. So actually there are many of these issues that now we see our young generation coming in nowadays, they face that, and they really need help and support in these areas. Okay? So we also look at some of the challenges that actually cause a lot of these issues. So as I said, some of these slides you might have seen in the previous talk. So example, the students who come into university today, they are being told that, oh, the degree that you are studying for, the discipline that you are preparing for, the job might not exist in future. Imagine that. They are being told that, right? So if I study for this degree, I'm being told that, oh, the job might not exist in future. It might be replaced by future jobs. So never has this taken place before. In our generation, if we studied for a particular degree, we knew that when we graduate, we are going to go into that job that exists. We are preparing for ourselves for a job that exists. Today, we are telling the young generation that you are preparing yourself for a job that might not exist or for a job that might change, right? So that causes an anxiety. Then what should I study? Okay, if I study this, how should I know whether the job can exist or not? The future prospects. Because it does say that a lot of jobs will change. A lot of people will lose jobs, but then a lot of new jobs will be created. But sometimes we cannot prepare ourselves for those new technical skills. But what can we do? We can prepare ourselves to face the challenges. That no matter what comes, we are well prepared. That is the only thing that we can prepare ourselves now for, right? Other things that we talk about are, as I mentioned, the mental well-being. So you can see from statistics, mental well-being of youth are actually decreasing. And it is clearly shown, if you read the newspapers every day, there are all these cases of mental health issues. Even students as young as school-going age face mental depression. There are suicide cases among secondary school children or students. So the mental well-being is being actually decreasing. And what causes that? So there are many issues that cause that. It could be now the lack of social interaction. Because the young generation nowadays, they like to just interact with their devices. So they don't have a lot of social interaction. That could cause them to not being able to face challenges because they don't have that face-to-face connection. Okay? There are also some studies which says that because the young generation now, they are very, very fortunate because they are born into families who actually provide everything for them. So life is easy. They do not face a lot of challenges. And when a failure comes, they are unable to cope because everything is provided by them. So how do we build this resilience, emotional resilience mental resilience as well in the kids to be able to face failure so that they can bounce back from it. So if you look even in Malaysia, you will see that, as I said, there are many newspaper articles that you have read that tells us that suicide is on the rise worldwide and in Malaysia. So according to the Malaysia National Health and Morbidity Survey, the most recent one, actually they did a survey in 2017, 20% of the adolescents in Malaysia suffer from depression. That's the studies. 40% have anxiety issues. 10% are stressed. And these are adolescents, which means kids from the age of maybe 13 to in their early 20s only, okay, young adults. Okay, so because of that, we are now, at the university, we are receiving this population of young adults into our university who might have inherited a lot of these so-called issues, right? So while we are trying to help them, to prepare them academically to excel in their studies, we also need to look at how we actually try to address many of these issues that they could have come in with and help them to be able to overcome these challenges. So it's not only helping them to excel in their studies, but we need to support them on how they overcome an anxiety issue, how they overcome a lack of confidence, how they overcome anxiety issue, exam anxiety, depression, and all these kind of other issues that they might come in from school, right? So basically, another challenge that has often been communicated is, this is a findings by Khazanah, okay, which they published last year. So the Khazanah report also states that there is a qualifications and skills mismatch that is actually being stated by employers. So they said that Malaysian education and training institutions emphasize on academic and professional qualifications, but employers are looking for something more. So besides academic qualifications and technical skills, many employers, when they interview for employees to hire the graduates, they are actually looking for also graduates who have soft skills, good soft skills, and also some work experience. So there is also a lack of emphasis on lifelong learning actually disadvantages our students or graduates when they go out and look for jobs. So that's why in their survey, it leads to a mismatch in terms of the graduates who are coming out in general and the kind of skills that employers need. And employers are saying sometimes they need to retrain the students, some students maybe cannot speak proper English, they cannot communicate well, they cannot do a presentation, so these are all the kind of soft skills that are being sought after, and yet when students are graduating outside, they are unable to show that they have these skills. So basically, what at Heriot-Watt University Malaysia, what we have done is that we actually realize these are challenges that are out there, and we have come out with something we call positive education. So it's not that we introduce positive education. Positive education is already there, but we have decided to actually implement it in our own way, in helping students develop themselves. Okay? So basically, if you look at what positive education is that it focuses not only on academic excellence. Of course, as a university, academic excellence is still very, very important. We still need to develop the technical skills for the disciplines that you are actually being trained for. But very importantly, we also focus on developing what we call well-being and character. So there is equal emphasis on this. And that is what positive education is. So basically, it's an education paradigm that teaches students to flourish as successful human beings or successful individuals by helping them to develop and enhance their well-being and character, besides helping them to excel academically. So a definition of positive education, which is from the State of Positive Education, states that positive education is actually based on the science of well-being and happiness, and it's an approach to education that blends academic learning with character, well-being, and prepares students with the life skills such as grit, optimism, resilience, growth mindset, engagement, and mindfulness. And these are a lot of the skills that are required. So for those families who attended the previous talk by Prof. Mushtaq, we actually built in a lot of these skills into the program that we call Empower program that is offered to all our undergraduate students year 1. So it's a very structured program where we look at this and we develop our students in all these areas in a very structured way, in a course. Okay? But for foundation program, we actually start early in foundation as well. We don't have a formal program, but we do offer it in our a program that we call Youth Transformation Program, which I will talk about later, and how we introduce some of these to foundation students as well. So at Heriot-Watt University Malaysia, the way that we actually focus on positive education is that we build it into our programs, and what we want to do is we want to ensure that students develop their mental and emotional resilience, have a good sense of well-being, and be happy about themselves. Okay? And one other thing that we put a very great emphasis on is that we want to make sure that every student has a purpose. Because studies have shown that individuals tend to be more successful if they actually have a purpose that they work towards. Okay, so then you have a goal that you want to work towards. So whatever obstacles or challenges that you face along the way, you will be able to overcome it by focusing on that purpose or goal, a life purpose. So we have a mechanism to ensure that all our students actually develop a life purpose when they enter our undergraduate. So in the foundation program, we help the students to develop short-term goals which help them to work towards their life purpose in future. So we also do that. So how do we do that? That's how I will introduce this called Youth Transformation Program. So when you sign up for the foundation program, actually the first week or so of the foundation program, we start off with running an orientation, a sort of an orientation program which incorporates a lot of those skills that we offer. So it's offered to all foundation students, and we call it the Youth Transformation Program. So why did we decide to actually come up with this? So as I mentioned, because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, and also we found that over several years ago, when the foundation team, we were talking about how do we ensure that our foundation students be more resilient, they become more mindful. We want them to be more successful. We decided that the answer could be helping them to develop all these skills through a program. So a lot of the students, when they finish SPM, some of them might be you, maybe not, there are many choices that they face now. So they could be like this Calvin, where he said, what are my choices? I have no idea what I want to do, right? I'm not sure. What course should I take? How will I fit into university life, okay? I will be leaving my friends. I will be coming into a new study environment. I don't have friends with me. Maybe my friends are not going to university. So they will have this kind of feelings of doubt, okay? Some slight anxiety, new environment, right? How will I make new friends? Will I make new friends, okay? Or some of them, they might say, I'm shy, I'm introverted. I might come from a school or an environment where maybe English is not the medium, right? Not the main medium. So I'm not very confident to actually speak maybe in English all the time, let's say. So these are actually some of the issues that a lot of students might face. And they do actually when they come into foundation. So the aim of our Youth Transformation Program is actually, we want to help students overcome all these anxiety issues. So that when they start the program, they are all very happy, they are confident, and they start it off in a very, they are able to cope better when they start off the foundation program, rather than taking some time to adjust to university, making new friends. Because by the time they finish this youth transformation program, they have made their new friends. They already know each other, and they are very comfortable to start the classes. So this actually helps them to adapt very well. So basically, the aim of the Youth Transformation Program, it was designed to help post-secondary students to transition into university life. So we help them to adapt to what is required in university, gain self-confidence. They build their relationships and friendships that will help them throughout the university studies. And we also put some projects for them to do, so they are able to then work and collaborate in teams with people that they have met for the first time. Okay, and that is really a challenge, because most of the time, all of us, we like to just work with people that we know, right? But in university, you are put into situations where you have to sometimes group with classmates whom you have just met, because everyone comes from a different environment, different school, right? So you're forced to work with them, and everyone needs to be able to then be able to adapt to different styles of working, communication, to culture, and all these kind of things. So we help to put them at ease so that they realize that it's very important, because nowadays when you go out to work, that is the expectation with global teams, virtual teams, all these kind of things. You have to work with anyone. You cannot choose who you want to be your working partner. It's actually chosen for you, whoever the colleagues are, right? So we don't have that privilege to choose. So we put students into that situation where they have to adapt. They have to be able to adapt to such environment. And very importantly, we actually help them or give them some tools to manage and control emotions as well. Okay. So we actually use an emotional intelligence framework by Daniel Goleman, where it helps them to, where we brief them on what it is. So basically, it's actually looking at developing self-awareness, knowing who they are, being able to be self-aware of how they feel, being able to manage the emotions, okay, how you control your emotions, then being able to manage your relationship with others, and then being able to be aware of others' emotions as well. So those are the 4 quadrants of Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence framework. So we introduce that to them, and we do it in a very easy to understand workshops and activities, such that they are able to then apply it. And also importantly, as I mentioned, we want to develop their sense of purpose. So we help them to develop some SMART goals that they might want to achieve while they are going through their studies in Heriot-Watt University. So this will actually put them in a frame of mind to look at life purpose when they go into year 1. So we started this youth transformation program in 2017. Okay, so this is the 4th year that we will be running the youth transformation program. Each year, when we started in 2017, we ran it 2 times for 2 intakes. So actually, we have run six iterations of this program already. So for this year, if we were to this year, for the April intake, it will be the 7th iteration, the 4th year that we will be running this program. So what is the Youth Transformation Program? Basically, it's a 1 week and more duration, and it's basically targeted at all O-levels SPM leavers. So the sessions, as I mentioned, include all this, where we talk about emotional intelligence, being self-aware, self-management, relationship management, social awareness. We talk about brain rewiring. So when we talk about brain rewiring, what does it mean? Because we also apply research that shows that if we rewire our brain to be more positive through certain activities, it actually helps build resilience. And it helps to build sense of positivity. And this sense of positivity actually can be sustained over a long period of time, not just while you are doing it. So example, those of you who were in the earlier talk, like a gratitude video, expressing gratitude. Expressing gratitude is a way for us to actually bring out the positive emotions in us. So even if we express gratitude in a simple way by writing down. So actually our students, we get them to write what we call gratitude exercise. They have to write down 5 things that they are grateful for every day. So if you do this on a regular basis, actually studies have shown that it helps to actually increase the positivity level of your brain. And by doing that on a regular basis, the level of positivity increases, and it helps people to be able to face challenges that they come across in their daily life, and it's sustained. So if you see outside on our ground floor, if you are going for your campus tour, we have a gratitude wall. And on the gratitude wall, we encourage our students to stick gratitude notes. So they just write, it's very simple. Today I am grateful for, and then they just write down, and we give them post-it notes, and they write down and they stick on the wall. So we encourage them to express gratitude. There are many ways that we can express gratitude. You know, we can just write thank you. We also distribute thank you cards to our students. They can write gratitude notes to their teachers or whatever. So it's just basically training them to express gratitude in a very tangible manner. Not just saying thank you, but you know, I'm thankful for this, for that, to be in a very specific manner. And that helps them to be able to build relationships, to be able to create that sense of positivity. So team projects, as I mentioned, we have group projects, and we also get them to do some very short personality tests to understand their own traits, personality traits, so that they use that to be able to understand not only themselves, but how they will be able to interact with others. So if I understand that I am a domineering person, and I understand that you are a person who is very supportive, the way I communicate with you would be very different, because you would actually react differently to the way that I say things. So if you know that I am of a certain personality, then you will try to change your way of communication to a way that will bring out a positive reaction from me. So they know. There are some people who like to talk a lot. There are some people who they are more analytical, they think a lot. So they need to have facts before they answer, right? There are some people who depend a lot on feelings. So there are many different types of people who work in a group, and if we understand their individual personality traits, we can work to their strengths. So it reduces conflicts when we have a group project. So of course, we also look at goal setting and purpose. We get our students to do goal setting. Okay, so I think there's a video here.
The Youth Transformation Program is a 2-week program whereby students prior to joining the MFP program will embark on various workshops and activities.
YTP promotes social skills such as effective communication skills and leadership skills, which is essential for the students for their working life later on.
It's very beneficial for the students to learn something outside of their studies, skills that will help them in their future.
So I believe that students not only enjoy all the activities, but the activities would have a long-term and meaningful impact on their lives.
I have the courage now to talk in front of a crowd, and I made so much new friends.
I saw the program like a week before, so I had the feeling that it was going to be very interesting and very impacting on me.
The Youth Transformation Program is a very immersive program that actually brings to life or sets in perspective what these kids have been going through for the last 17, 18 years of their life.
I think YTP is definitely a really great first step for my son towards that journey in life. And I'm really looking forward to see the transformation in him when he comes back home.
The inspiration behind my goal comes from my experiences as someone who has ADHD. I intend to write a book about my experiences in the vein of motivational and dark comedy literature. Through this book, I want to further catalyze change in how neurodiversity is perceived in Malaysian culture.
My goal was inspired by a non-profit organization which does everything for love and care. This has inspired me that it is important for me to contribute to the society by showing love and care to the people who experience hardship.
My goal is to be a CEO of my own innovation company called TechTech in 10 years. I will be developing a smart home system where it provides a more convenient and comfortable living to the mankind.
I believe the YTP is the beginning of this journey on that transformation, the journey of retelling, rewriting the stories about ourselves and about the world in which we live in a very positive way. If you see it from the angle that I see it, you will know this country has a bright future, and I dare say the world has a very bright future.
So that actually concludes the part about the foundation. I'd just like to then give you a brief about Heriot-Watt University Malaysia, and then I'll move on a little bit to talk about foundation programs. So Heriot-Watt University actually was a university that actually was established in 1821. So next year, 2021, we are celebrating our bicentenary, 200 years old. It will be a major celebration for us. And the university, our main campus, is actually based in Edinburgh in Scotland, and we focus on actually programs like business, engineering, design, physical sciences, etc. So we have actually three main campuses. Okay, so in UK actually there are 3 campuses, but the main campus is in Edinburgh. We have a campus in Dubai that was set up more than 10 years ago, and Malaysia is the youngest campus that was set up in 2013, okay, in this location. But some of you might be aware that actually Heriot-Watt University has been actually present worldwide for and renowned for its MBA programs through distance learning partners. So actually we do have, even before our campus started in Malaysia, we have been offering MBA programs through distance learning, and there are actually quite a number of alumni of MBA programs. So in this campus, we focus on these programs here: accounting, finance, international business management, engineering, marketing, psychology, actuarial science, quantity surveying, etc. Okay, so these are the programs. Okay, so this is a bit small. So basically, just to let you know, we were set up in 2013, and actually our campus, we were invited by the Malaysian government under the Economic Transformation Plan to actually set up the campus here. Thus, our campus is in Putrajaya, okay, because we have a collaboration with Putrajaya Holdings. And this building actually doesn't belong to us, it's actually leased from Putrajaya Holdings. Okay, and the design of this building is the same architect as the one who designed PICC, Putrajaya Convention Center. That's why you can see the design is very similar, because it's the same architect, Hijas Kasturi actually designed these 2 buildings. It's a green building. So basically, a green building means suppose it's energy efficient. That's why you see there's a lot of open spaces, and only the aircon is in the enclosed places, because we want to try to maintain the energy conservation. And when you have an opportunity to go to the rooftop, actually ours is a living rooftop. Actually, there's grass at the top there. So it's a living rooftop that is at the top of our and it helps to trap the rain and all that to cool down the building. Okay. So basically, some very quick facts about Heriot-Watt University. So when you join us through our foundation program and you enter the undergraduate degree, after the first year of undergraduate degree, you may choose at any time to transfer to our UK or Dubai campus. So we call this guaranteed campus transfer, as long as you are able to meet the progression requirements. So we don't set any academic limitation, academic achievement for you to go, as long as you met your progression from year 1 to year 2, and we don't set quota. Anyone can go, as many as possible. And if you choose to go through that path, we call it the Go Global program for our Heriot-Watt University Malaysia students, then you will get a 20% tuition fee waiver of the international fee that you will pay when you transfer to UK or Dubai. Because when you transfer overseas, you will be paying the UK fee, but we will give 20% fee waiver of your international tuition fee for students who transfer from Malaysian campus. Okay? And you can actually, it's very flexible. You may choose to transfer there and study for as short duration as 1 semester, and then you come back. Or you can stay for 1 year and you come back, or you can choose to graduate there. Or you can, so there's a whole range of possibilities. You can do 1 year here, 2 years there, 1 year, 1 here, 1 year there, 1 year Dubai, okay? Or 1 year here, 1 year there, come back 1 year, etc. So there are many combinations that students can choose, okay? And you can also complete at our international campus and graduate there. Similarly, under this Go Global program, we do have students from our overseas campus who do that as well. So if you enter our undergraduate degree, or sometimes when you walk around the campus during the normal school days, you will see actually we do have quite a number of UK and Scottish students who are here, because they also transfer from the UK campus to come here and study. Most of them will come here for 1 semester. Many of them stay on for 1 year. In fact, very small handful choose to graduate in Malaysia, okay, because they like it so much here. So you will see that in some of the classes, there are actually UK students who are studying with us as well. So this is the information about our campuses. So at the moment, in our Putrajaya campus, we have slightly more than 2,000 students, okay, for all the programs studying in Malaysia. But this campus is actually built for a 4,000 strong student. So we are not there yet, but we hope to reach there in a few years' time. And when we do reach there, then there are plans for expansion of this campus, okay, by building actually a high-rise building on the other side. So that's why when you look at our campus now, it looks a little bit unfinished. The shape of our campus has that shape where it looks a little bit unfinished. But that's because it's planned for another extension at the later on. That's why it says that it cuts off like that very abruptly. So that is basically information about our campus. I will now move on to talk about foundation programs. If there are any questions that anyone wants to ask at this point in time, I will be happy to answer. Any questions? Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are all the 3 campuses, the degrees are equally recognized? You have Malaysia, UK, and Dubai.
If it's the similar degree, because the degree that we offer here is actually what is offered at our main campus. So basically, whatever that is offered in the main campus, and if we bring the degree here, it will be exactly the same. So if you choose to transfer to Dubai, then it will be a similar degree, exactly the same title. And over in Heriot-Watt University, all the campuses that are offering the same degree, we share the same teaching materials. So the course learning materials are actually shared. Everyone has the same course learning materials. Even the exams are the same.
Yeah, well, another question, okay, this is with regards to the degree program.
Yes.
I don't know if I should direct you, it's okay to
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but I heard, okay, for the engineering program, I heard local universities have been mandated to for 4 years.
Yep.
But here you can do it in 3 years. So are they actually condensing the course
No.
and putting more pressure on the students?
So the degree program that we offer here, we have BEng and MEng. So it follows the UK. Actually, in UK, you can graduate with a BEng in engineering. But in Malaysia, to be recognized by the Board of Engineers Malaysia, they only recognize the 4-year degree. So we offer the MEng, which is a 4-year degree. So we didn't condense the program into 3 years. In fact, we extended it to add extra things for the 4th year to meet our professional accreditation board. So students who choose to finish in BEng, they may choose to do so if they want to. Although many Malaysian students, we advise them not to do so because of the Board of Engineers accreditation. They can choose to do so, but in future they cannot register as a chartered engineer if they complete with BEng. To be recognized as a chartered engineer or to register as a professional member of BEng, you need, you need the 4-year engineering program. The other thing is you need to meet a minimum academic achievement to progress to MEng. So in the 2nd year, they have to meet a minimum requirement. I cannot remember, because I'm not from engineering school, I cannot remember what is the minimum average that they have to meet. If they don't meet that, then they cannot proceed to MEng. They must complete their degree with BEng only.
So that's only for 3 years?
Yes.
So you cannot register with
No. You cannot be a professional engineer if you don't have a 4-year
Yeah, so they
degree.
have to really make sure that they meet that minimum requirement to be eligible to progress to the 4th year. But as a BEng, you can still go out and work. But it's just that there are some companies, you cannot be a professional engineer, but you can still work in engineering related fields actually. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, but if you want to know more, maybe when you go inside the hall, you can ask the engineering faculty. Okay, any other questions? So if not, then thank you all for your attention. If you want more information, I'll be around to ask more questions, to address any of the other questions they have. Thank you so much. Thank you.